Hi, this is Carol Graham with Praying for Miracles with Carol. If you need a miracle in your life, if you enjoy reading about miracles, not only are there plenty to choose from on this channel, but also on my website, prayingmiracles.com. And there's also PDFs that you can download and give you scripture verses and how to pray. And on my website, I teach how to pray the answer instead of the problem. Very often we pray the problem, but God's Word already has the answer. And in my prayer course at thebiblicalnutritionist.com, I do share that insight and in-depth way to pray the answer instead of the problem. I also love to share miracles because I believe that we need to be living life expecting miracles. The God that we serve, the God who is the Almighty God above all other names, all other gods, wants nothing more than for us to trust Him with our lives. And when we trust Him and we believe in Him, we can expect to see the miracles. I've done a few stories on this channel about angels, and I'm going to share another one with you today. This one happened to my husband when he was only 11 years old. It's not my story, but he certainly has told it to us many, many times, and he has never forgotten it. He turned 11, and he was, of course, did not have a driver's license yet, but his dad had asked him if he would help him transport a vehicle that they had to get from their summer home to the farm where it was going to be there for the winter. And so they put a chain to connect the two vehicles, and Clayton was a little nervous because he didn't want to disappoint his dad and hope that he could steer properly, etc. But after they connected the two vehicles and they got everything hooked up, Dad told him, all you have to do is steer. Just steer straight and everything will be fine. So about halfway to the farm, they had to pull over and stop for gas. And when he did that, Clayton got out of the car and he decided to get some candy at the little grocery store that was attached to the gas station. And when he went into the store, he heard, no one else heard it. It was like a voice. He didn't even know where it came from, but he heard a very loud voice say, "Spend it all." And he's like, "What?" And again, spend it all. There's going to be an accident. You're going to be okay. But spend it all today because it'll be a long time before you can spend any more. Well, that's probably pretty shocking for an 11-year-old. But he knew who God was. His daddy was a preacher, and he knew the promises of the Word, even at 11 years old. And he had already seen miracles, as I said. Some of those are on this channel as well, in his young life, of how God has protected, preserved, and healed him of polio when he was a baby. So he decided, okay, I better listen. So he did just that. He got all the candy that he had and the money for in his pocket, and he got back into the vehicle, and he thought, well, if that's true and there is going to be an accident, he's going to take some precautions. And so there were pillows and blankets in the back of the Jeep, and he got them and he put them on the seat next to him, so just in case there was any kind of impact, he could dive into those blankets. Well, he wanted his dad to, again, he definitely wanted his dad to be proud of him, so he didn't tell him, and he didn't tell him about the voice, and he didn't tell him that he was the least bit scared. And as they were driving up ahead, they had turned onto a gravel road, And just as they turned onto the road, there was a grader that was coming towards them, that was grating the gravel. And so his dad had to veer his vehicle. And when he did that, to avoid the oncoming grader, the chain broke. And when that chain broke, that was connecting the father's vehicle with Clayton's vehicle, it flipped the Jeep that Clayton was steering. And it flipped over a couple times. Now this is where we know that angels were involved. So when that Jeep flipped over, Clayton was thrown. But normally if you're thrown from a vehicle, you are thrown from the vehicle. In this particular case, Clayton was thrown up into the air, and when he came down, he landed on the hood of the vehicle. That shouldn't have happened, because he bounced there as well. It was almost like there was a cushion. Instead of landing on the hard ground, he landed on top of the vehicle like a cushion. Well, his dad, of course, came running over to see if he was okay. And, of course, Clayton was pretty shook up. He had also had quite a bit of scratches on him. He had lost several of his teeth that were knocked out. And he was okay. He was alive. So they both then got up and walked towards the Jeep. And then Dad saw something that absolutely blew his mind. He said, "Look here, son. Look here." And they looked at the top of the Jeep, and there was an indentation that was huge, many times greater than what Clayton's body would have made on top of that Jeep. It was like the entire Jeep had been pushed down and cushioned. There was no explanation for it. And so Dad looked at him. He said, "Son, your angels protected you. They must have laid there before you bounced onto the top of that Jeep." It was the only explanation, because his landing was soft, and his landing was on a very large landing instead of the impact that a small young boy's body would have made. And again, his dad said, "Son, God protects us." He knew this was going to happen. His angels were sent to protect you, to keep you, and even though you lost a few teeth, you didn't lose your life. And this is a story that he has shared many times, as he has shared the miracles that have happened in his life. And today I share it with you, knowing that no matter what comes, what happens, what calamity, what trauma, God is there to protect us in every way, whether it's mentally or physically. In every way, He is there to protect us. We never need to live in fear, but we can live in that confidence and trust that He will take care of us. Thank you for listening again, and please give me your comments. I look forward to hearing from you. This is Carol with Praying for Miracles with Carol.